Could a WWE star be headed out of the company? Plus, we're going to talk about Ricky Starks and so much more. It's all coming up right here on the Ango Show. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ango Show. First, I actually just kind of want to talk about Shayna Baszler because, well, it's been revealed that Shayna Baszler is going to be working again for GCW. And obviously, you guys know, if you follow my channel, you know that I love Bloodsport. You know that I've gone to several GCW shows. I've really fallen in love with what they're kind of doing, right? Like, they are kind of in their own world, doing their thing on the independents. Not everything they do is something that I like, but Bloodsport, especially with Josh Barnett, like, it's become a yearly thing that I typically enjoy watching. And when Shayna Baszler was part of it during WrestleMania week, I was very excited about that. That was something that was really cool to see that WWE and GCW came together to put that together. It was quite enjoying. It brought quite an enjoyment to my life when, you know, I like Bloodsport. I think Shayna Baszler is good. I think Shayna Baszler has been underutilized mostly in her WWE career to kind of get the best of both worlds. I really like that. But I thought it was a one-time thing. I didn't think it was going to be anything else. But now Shayna Baszler has been announced for Bloodsport on July 28th in Brooklyn, New York. Josh Barnett put out a tweet for her. The debut in Josh Barnett's Bloodsport was not that, but in fact, her stepping into the ring she was forged from. The crucible that has made her a champion in MMA and pro wrestling. This July, she returns to her birthplace to once again reign in blood and glory. So WWE continuing the working relationship with GCW. Obviously, I'm excited about that. One thing that is interesting to me, though, is that it seems like WWE, when it comes to the working relationships, it kind of just feels like WWE is doing these relationships, but there is a little bit more to desire, right? Maybe Charlie Dempsey goes back to GCW, and that would be really cool. But it would be really nice to see some other talent in WWE jump ship to some of these other companies. You know, AJ Styles is going to Pro Wrestling Noah. Super exciting. Shayna is going to GCW Bloodsport. Super exciting. Io Sky is going to Marigold. Super exciting. Tatum Paxley went to TNA. Super exciting. But there is so many people in WWE who may not be utilized right now. And I think with these working relationships, you should just kind of let them go and do it. So we'll see what it becomes. Obviously, I don't really know what to expect. I don't expect Shayna Baszler to lose in Bloodsport, but I very much like this. Super excited to see what it leads to. That leads us to Ricky Starks. There was a lot of rumors and a lot of talk about Ricky Starks on Reddit. And honestly, I don't know if this is a smear campaign. I don't know what this is. I don't know where this all stems from, but there was basically some Reddit post about Starks and some issues in AEW and some stuff with like some legal trouble in Calgary or something like that. And it just became this shit show of, honestly, it just seemed like a smear campaign. Fightful has done a very extensive amount of research into Ricky Starks and what is going on, and I want to share it with you guys. Fightful Select reported that they reached out to sources in AEW following a post on Reddit about his status, who claimed that Ricky Starks was turning down pitches to be on screen is actually somewhat accurate to a degree. Another source claimed that breaking up with Big Bill and feuding was the only pitch he turned down in the last several months. It was said that Fightful can't speak to the claim that he wasn't listening to pitches, as that wasn't broached or answered by any source that they spoke with. People in AEW have criticized Starks for not wanting to do business, while those involved in the storyline hoped it would give Big Bill a launching pad to be a big heel and Starks a big babyface. Basically, it was said that Ricky Starks didn't think Big Bill losing a feud with him would benefit him. As in Big Bill, it wouldn't benefit Big Bill. And instead, he wanted them to have an amicable split, if anything. Fightful was told that when Starks wasn't booked at All In last year, there was a concern about fan reaction, and that's why they did the suspension storyline. At that time, Starks wasn't in favor of being in a tag team and didn't like the lack of follow-up to his match with Bryan Danielson. Obviously, we all kind of saw when Punk was gone, Ricky Starks lost momentum. With that being said, there is a ton of conflicting information about contact between Starks and Khan. Internally, regarding everything Starks related, there seems to be conflicting information based on who you speak with, and they have not heard that there's any imminent creative plans. There are people in AEW who believe that Starks wants to go to WWE, which is obviously something I think we all kind of speculate anyways, but nobody really knows what's his contract situation or what's really going on. So there's a couple things. There's obviously the rumors about some legal trouble in Calgary or some bar fights or whatever. It sounds like that's all completely fake and made up. In terms of Ricky Starks turning down creative pitches, I'm between a rock and a hard place right now, because I think as a boss, you need to be collaborating and be cohesive with your talent. And if you're having disagreements, which naturally that's a humane thing to do, if you're having disagreements, I think there's got to be a way to solve it. I don't know. Ricky Starks, to me, it's inevitable that he goes to WWE. It's inevitable. AEW hardcore fans really hate when we talk about that, but the reality is Ricky Starks and AEW, they've missed their opportunity to utilize him properly. They've done some really good things and then they never follow up with it. It's a common issue. But why is all of this negative stuff coming out about Ricky Starks and then it's not actually true? Yeah, I think there's a smear campaign, and I think this is something that is notoriously happening in AEW. There is smear campaigns against the talent who don't align with the hardcore fan base, and shame on anybody who is pushing these fake narratives. With that being said, let's talk about Natalya. I don't know if this is a big sign of what is to come, but Natalya has completely erased WWE from her Twitter bio. And a lot of people are speculating, because of the nature of her contract situation in WWE, that she could very well be gone from the company. Now, there is no concrete evidence that suggests that Natalya is leaving the company, just like there is no concrete evidence that Ricky Starks is leaving AEW. But I'm talking about this because, well, I think we are going to see a major shakeup in the world of professional wrestling, which is largely due to talent switching companies. And look, Natalya's been in WWE for so long, it makes a lot of sense for her to stay in WWE, but also it's not a bad thing for Natalya to leave WWE and go to AEW. Just like it's not a bad thing for Ricky Starks to leave AEW and go to WWE. Like, it could work out for everybody involved, Obviously, removing your information on your bio it's nothing concrete about that. But I do think we got to have that conversation as to, look, it's a very big possibility. They haven't re-signed her yet. There was talks of a deal being offered and not accepted. A lot of signs are pointing to maybe she's just not going to be there anymore. And that's completely fine. She could go to AEW and hopefully things go well in AEW, but you don't want to see talent switch companies and completely fail. So I want to see, like, whatever ends up happening, whether it's Ricky or Natalya or whatever, like, I just want them to go to and do what they think is best for them. And then hopefully it works out. But I definitely expect a major shakeup. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Ango Show.
Yes.